Hey you guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back. So in today's video, I'll be sharing cruelty-free dupes for some of my old school makeup and skincare favorites from non-cruelty-free brands. Some of these things were like my holy grails, my ride or dies. I used to use some of these products like all the time, and I was really nervous when I switched to cruelty-free that I would really miss some of these, but you know what? A lot of these new products are even better than the things I used to know and love, and you know, I couldn't get enough of. And I'm super excited because today's video is a collab with Kelly Gooch here on YouTube. Oh my gosh, she's just one of my favorites. She's probably the first person that really inspired me to go cruelty-free. I would watch her channel and I didn't actually realize she was cruelty-free until she mentioned it in one of her videos. And just the variety of products she used, it just made me realize, okay, I'm not gonna be that limited if I switch. I can do this. But that just shows how creative her content is. She's always coming up with new and exciting ideas. I just love all her videos, and she's super sweet. I feel like she's just so genuine and down to earth. You guys have to check her out if you don't already. I'm sure you guys are all already subscribed to her. But she's one of the first bloggers that really just opened my eyes to this idea of being cruelty-free. I started to research more about animal testing and what's done to these poor innocent animals. Oh my gosh, the thought of it just, I can't even bring myself there because it makes me so upset. I'm one of those people, when I see animals suffer, I can't deal. I was the kid that saved bugs from the pool. And Homeward Bound was probably the first movie that I really bawled my eyes out at. Seeing that golden retriever in that, he was in like a sewer or something, right? He hurt his leg. I can't even remember, but I just can't stand the idea of an animal suffering. Animal testing is just the most senseless act to me, and I don't know, maybe little old me is not going to make a difference in making the world become cruelty-free, but I just hope my little voice can make a difference somehow. And I just love that there's bloggers out there like Kelly Gooch and Raw Beauty Christie. There's so many more out there, but maybe I can be part of this little space that can make somewhat of a difference. So yeah, Kelly just has really inspired me, and she's just the sweetest person ever, so down to earth, and that just really comes through in her videos. But it was so sweet of her to collab with me, with little old me, this little fish in this big pond. I really appreciate it, and she's just awesome. So check her out if you're not subscribed to her already. All right, so let's dive into this makeup. I do have a couple skincare items as well because I can't get through a video without talking about skincare. Let's be honest, that skincare is just my ultimate weakness. But let's start with the makeup. So back in the day, probably one of my first high-end purchases was from NARS, and it was one of their lip glosses in the shade Turkish Delight. This shade was made popular from, I remember reading the article, I think it was in Allure, and it was Kim Kardashian talking about all her holy grail products. But she talked about this lip gloss and how it was her perfect shade. It was this like opaque, milky pink that was super creamy, and it looked amazing on her. So of course, it just blew the shade through the roof. This shade was sold out forever. I remember it was out of stock on Sephora, but I picked it up and I was so thrilled with it. I used it all the time. And unfortunately, NARS was cruelty-free, but they had to retract their cruelty-free status. I think they started to sell in China. So that was one of the big items I had to give up when I switched. And I just never thought I would find that same like perfect pinky shade until recently. I am super excited about this gloss. This is by Milani. This is one of their Keep It Full Nourishing glosses. This formula is amazing. It's super, super creamy, and it gives you that like full pouty look, and it's just so creamy. It feels so soft on the lips, and I feel like as this wears throughout the day, my lips just feel more and more nourished and moisturized, and it's like a lip treatment and a lip gloss. I just love it, and the applicator is so satisfying. It has that like thick, fluffy applicator, kind of the same type of applicator that's in the Fenty Gloss Bomb. It's just so good, so satisfying. Let me put some on right now. I just love it. It's that perfect cool pink, and again, it has that like milky opacity, so it kind of takes away any of the redness in your lips. So I love that I can just throw it on throughout the day and just feel put together, and it's just a satisfying gloss because of that applicator and because of that creamy formula. So I love this. The shade is Bare Pink, just one of my new favorites. Forget Turkish Delight, I like this even better, especially for the applicator. All right, and then let's talk about blushes. So Benefit's California was my first like coral pink blush that I just could not get enough of. This shade was just the perfect like peachy glowy blush. It was so flattering. I loved it so much, and unfortunately Benefit is not cruelty free. It's a shame because they have really cool and exciting products. They always have like fun new releases. Bummer they're not cruelty free, and I don't know, I was afraid I would never find that like same like golden peach color. But these two blushes, first of all, I'm going to give you two options here because the Flower blush, this is the one I discovered first, and then this Catrice blush I discovered recently, but they're very similar. The Flower blush is the Flower Pots blush is the official name, and it's in the shade Warm Hibiscus. It has that perfect like pinky neutral undertone, but it has a slight golden shift to it, so it gives your cheeks like a slight highlight, which I love. I don't have highlight on today. I just have my Born to Glow foundation by NYX and then this blush over it, and it's just it just gives so much life to your face. I love the pinky shade. I just love how it gives that gold highlight effect like the California blush did, and the same like peachy pink undertone. And then this new blush that I discovered, this is by Catrice. This is one of their blush boxes, and this is in the shade Golden Coral. It is so pretty. It's a little bit peachier than the Warm Hibiscus one by Flower Beauty, but still just that same like glowy gold undertone with that like peachy pink, perfect flush to your cheeks. I just love it. Now, the Catrice one is a little dustier. It's a little more powdery than the Flower Beauty blush. The Flower Beauty blushes are just amazing. They're super, it's a powder form, but they go on really creamy and seamless. These are a little bit more dusty, but they're still just so flattering and not too pigmented. They just give just enough life to your cheeks. So it's one of those blushes you can kind of throw on if it's like half dark in your bathroom. Like for me it is. Well, it's like usually 6 o'clock when I'm getting ready in the morning before the girls are awake. But these two colors are just gorgeous. I do not miss the California blush at all. It was pretty, but, and it came with this scratchy blush brush. Do you guys remember those? It had like these bristles that just did not distribute the product evenly. It just was a no-go, but I love these two. I love the formulas, and the colors are super pretty. All right, on to foundations next. So I used to love the L'Oreal Pro Glow Infallible Pro Glow, I think is what it was called. Such a gorgeous formula. It was like really thin, glowy, not too dewy, super pretty. But I remember I would wear that and my face would always end up breaking out, but it was one of those things where I didn't care because I loved how it looked so much. But I just never thought I would find that perfect mix between like a radiant foundation without it being too glowy and not too dewy where I'm looking sweaty. But I mean, I have a few dewy foundations that I love, but I have a new favorite. But this formula is almost identical to the L'Oreal, and it doesn't break me out, so that's a huge plus. But I just cannot get enough of the finish of this. This is the NYX Born to Glow Natural Radiant Foundation. Everybody's talking about this, and for good reason. The hype is real around this product. The formula is super thin like how the L'Oreal foundation was, and it gives the most beautiful like luminosity to your skin without giving that like I just left a yoga class kind of look. So I'm wearing it today, and it's just, I just feel like it's so flattering. It covers, it feels lightweight. I'm just a sucker for a foundation that gives high coverage with that lightweight feel. I like myself a full coverage foundation, but I can't stand that cakiness, that heavy feel. This feels lightweight. I love the beautiful radiant finish of it. It's just amazing. It wears really nicely, and it's a drugstore product, so you cannot beat it. I love it. My new favorite. So while we're on the topic of face products, let's talk about concealer. So I used to love this Bobbi Brown. It was a spot coverage concealer. It was super brightening. It had this like pinky undertone, so it canceled out your dark spots. But the thing I loved most about it was how hydrating it was. I just cannot get down with a concealer that has a matte finish. I'm finally realizing this. I've tried so many different matte concealers, and I like it when I first apply it, but my under eyes are just way too dry for it, and I end up just wanting to wash my face throughout the day. So I have found, I've been using this for about like 6 months now. This is by Glossier. This is their Stretch Concealer. This has the most beautiful creamy formula. I will say it does settle into my fine lines slightly, but honestly, I say this all the time, but what concealer doesn't, let's be honest. But my thing is, especially with some of these matte foundations, if they break up at all, they're just not forgiving throughout the day. I like to be able to pat out my concealer as it wears throughout the day. You know, sometimes your foundation or concealer breaks up and you try to fix it with a wet beauty sponge, but it just, I don't know, it just makes the situation worse, and your foundation's lifting up from the sponge, and it's just a disaster. But this concealer, the fact that it's so dewy, I can almost, if it settles a little bit throughout the day, I can just pat it in with my finger, and it just smooths out everything. It smooths out any dryness. It just looks so like beautiful and like hydrating on the skin, and just makes everything look super smooth. So I love that. I just love like that fresh look it gives to your under eyes. It just is a very youthful looking concealer, so I really love that. If you have dry skin, I think you would love this. If you're on the oily side, you can see how this would slide around a little bit on your face, but For my dry skin friends out there, this is just amazing. The coverage is great. I would say it's medium to buildable. You probably could build up to full coverage, but I noticed when I wear this, my melasma does poke through slightly. But for anything, I just love it as a brightening product for underneath my eyes. It does a great job at canceling out my bluish tones. It's just amazing. And I've noticed that they expanded their shade range in this, and they now have 12 shades, so that's great. I love it, and I just love the hydration factor I get from it. One of my favorites. I do not miss that Bobbi Brown, and that was in the smallest pot ever from what I remember, so I feel like I would have gone through that really quickly. So yeah, I love that Glossier concealer. And then on to mascaras. My favorite, all-time favorite drugstore mascara was from L'Oreal, and it was the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. I loved the volume I got from it. It made my lashes just look so dramatic and gave my lashes that false lash effect. I do not miss it anymore because I have discovered the Flower Beauty Lash Warrior Mascara. I feel like I'm having a lot of Flower Beauty appearances in this video. But this Lash Warrior Mascara is just amazing. Another product that has really high ratings for good reason. This stuff does not budge. It separates. It does not give you any, spidery, clumpy looking lashes, but it still gives you that thickness, which I feel is really hard to find. The brush is amazing. It has this like perfectly curved brush that's kind of thicker on the one end, so it really does a good job with grabbing those lashes on the inner corner, and it just separates, it thickens, it's everything you want in a mascara. It lengthens. It's just great. This is just a perfect like all-in-one mascara. I love it. I'm dying to try the new one. They have a new dupe for Lash Paradise, so I really want to pick that up. Let me know if you guys have tried it. I'm hearing great things about that one as well. All right, and then let's talk about Wet n Wild. So I don't know if you guys heard the whole Wet n Wild scandal, I guess you would call it. They're still calling themselves cruelty free, but we're just finding out that they've been selling in mainland China since 2018, since last year. But Wet n Wild was able to, I guess, get around this because when this whole thing came to light, they released a statement saying, yes, we were selling our products to mainland China, but our products were not being required to be tested on animals because they were pre-market. Now, there's a little stipulation with the Chinese government. Even if they weren't tested pre-market, once they're on the shelves, they can be subject to animal testing anytime. Products can be pulled from the shelves at any time and be tested. So that's kind of a crappy thing that, Wet n Wild's taking that risk that animal testing can be performed. So that just didn't sit well with a lot of people. I guess technically they still have their cruelty-free status, but in certain websites like Cruelty Free Kitty and Logical Harmony have pulled them from their cruelty-free list because of this whole pre-market issue selling to mainland China. So really crappy. And I used to love this lipstick. This was their lipstick 902C in the shade Bare It All, but this was the perfect beigey brownie nude with just the slightest cool toned undertone. So let me just show you. The formula was super creamy too, and these lipsticks are like $2, so you could not beat it. I love the shade, but I have since found a new nude lip that I'm absolutely obsessed with. This is by ColourPop. This is one of their luxe lipsticks in the shade Appy. So it's again like a brownie nude, but it doesn't have as much coolness as the Wet n Wild does, but it's still that perfect nude where it doesn't wash you out. And I just love it. It's just such a wearable nude, so flattering, and it's slightly warmer than the Wet n Wild. So again, it's just a little more flattering on more skin tones, I think anyway. But I don't know, maybe just my taste. I know at least for me when I wear them, I just feel like they're just doing nothing for my complexion. But this just has that slight warmth to it. It has almost like a peachy undertone as well. It's very close, but just, I don't know. It's better though. I like this color so much better, and the formula is awesome. If you guys have to try out these ColourPop Luxe lipsticks. They're just creamy enough to where they're comfortable, but yet they don't slide around. They're almost like a demi matte with a slight cream sheen to them. They're perfect formula. I love it so much, and I love this shade, and I do not miss that Wet n Wild at all. I'll be using this. And then liquid lipsticks. So I'm super picky about liquid lipstick formulas. My lips are dry at baseline, and liquid lipsticks just usually don't do any good things for my already dry situation. But I really did like the Huda Beauty liquid matte lipsticks. I picked up the shade Crush, but I was so disappointed to find out that they're technically not cruelty free. It's advertised on their website. They say they don't test on animals, and I think it was even on their Instagram that they deem themselves as cruelty free. But somebody brought it to light. Actually, I think it was a subscriber told me that some of their lashes are made from mink, from real mink. So that just put a bad taste in my mouth. So yeah, I can't really support Huda Beauty anymore, unfortunately. It looks like they have a lot of fun products, and I did really like that liquid lipstick. but I have since found my new, this is like my holy grail liquid lipstick. This is my perfect everyday color. I feel like I say that a lot in my videos, oh, this is great for every day, but this is a lipstick that literally lives in my purse. I just love it. I'm wearing it today. I did put that Milani gloss over it, but let me apply it so you guys can see how it looks. But this shade Infamous is the perfect mauve-y pink with the slightest warmth to it. Oh, it's just, I think it's so flattering. But it probably doesn't look like much on camera, but you know how when you just find your perfect everyday shade, you're just so excited about it? This is just, I just love it so much. And the formula is just so nice. It has this like airy, moussey texture, so it like smooths out your lip lines too. It just feels moisturizing, and it's unlike any other liquid lip I've ever tried as far as the formula goes. And the whole line has an amazing selection of nude shades. If you're a nude fan, I want every single one because everyone is different, like slightly in their own little way. But yeah, I love that color so much. That lives in my purse. It's not the most longest wearing liquid lip, but I guess because it doesn't completely dry down, you're gonna have a little bit of transfer, but I just love that shade. All right, so while we're on the subject of lipsticks, let's talk about MAC lipsticks. Another thing that really got me excited about makeup back in the day, MAC, I just remember going to my Macy's and seeing the gorgeous like rainbow of lipsticks and just being so excited, and I needed to have every MAC color. But my favorite, my all-time favorite was always this Angel shade. This is in the Frost line, and it was just, it was so pretty. I just love that it was a pinky nude, but it had that like frosty undertone to it. It was that cool pink color that I just loved. And it was one of those colors you could just pull out of your purse, swipe on. You didn't have to worry about like making sure it was in your lip lines because it was light, but the shade didn't wash out my lips. I loved it. It was my favorite. But I've since discovered this new, it's actually a lip balm. This is by Milk Makeup. This is their Kush lip balm, and this is in the shade Catatonic. And it's that perfect like neutral pink with a slight coolness to it, which I love. And it's just so effortless. You can just swipe it on, but it gives the most pretty just sheer wash of pink to your lips. It's perfect for just when you need some extra moisturization, when you want to feel put together, you want a little bit of color but you don't want to look overdone. I love it. And I love that they put so much detail into the packaging. You look at it and it looks like a simple white package, but it feels super weighty, and it also has that like satisfying magnetic closure, so it feels like a luxury item. And I think this was in the teens. I want to say this is like an $18 product, so it's worth it to me for that perfect neutral pink color and also that like light moisturizing feel on the lips. I love it. And then okay, let's talk skincare. So one of my first cleansers, the first like high-end cleanser I bought was by Fresh. It was their soy face cleanser, which I'm sure you guys all know. I mean, it's such a popular, it's like a staple skincare item, but Fresh is unfortunately not cruelty free. And let me know if I'm wrong about this, but I could have sworn a few years ago they were technically cruelty free. But I don't really know what happened. I don't know if they just started selling into mainland China or what it was, but Fresh is not cruelty free anymore, and I just never thought I'd be able to find that same gel consistency in a cleanser that would also keep my skin hydrated. With my dry skin, I usually go for more of a creamy consistency, but I don't know, sometimes I want that lightweight feel from a gel cleanser, especially in the morning. I just feel like sometimes they're a little bit more refreshing than those heavy creamy cleansers. And I am obsessed with this cleanser by Indie Lee. I actually am almost out. I need a new one, but this is the brightening cleanser by her, and I just love this. It is the most luxurious feeling gel on your face. I don't know, a lot of gels can almost just, they don't sit on your face, they don't develop a nice lather. A lot of gel cleansers just don't give that rich feeling on the skin. It doesn't feel like, you know, it's breaking up my makeup, but this feels so just like buttery on the skin. It almost feels like you're putting a cream cleanser on the skin. So it's really just nourishing. I love the feeling of it. It's not the most intensely clarifying cleanser, so it's not really going to rid your face of all of its makeup. You're really going to have to do a double cleanse if you use this at night, but I love this for a morning cleanser if I used a ton of skincare the night before and I just feel like I need a fresh start in the morning. I love this, and the ingredients are really great. This contains strawberry oil in here, so it has like the lightest strawberry scent, and strawberry oil has a little small component of ascorbic acid. Now I don't know how much brightening you're going to get from the small amount of vitamin C that's in here, and essentially you're just washing it off, so it's probably not giving me much brightening at all. But if anything, I just like how this feels so rich on the skin, but yet feels lightweight and just doesn't dry out my skin. It really does leave my skin feeling moisturized too. Love that cleanser so much. All right, then let's talk moisturizers. So way back when, in my 20s, it feels like so long ago, I'll be 35 this year, crazy. But way back when in my 20s, I really wanted to start getting into skincare, and I really started researching skincare ingredients. And I feel like everybody was talking about oil of Olay, how it was a great option at the drugstore for anti-aging skincare, and I don't know, everybody just had really great things to say about it. So I used to love the Total Effects moisturizer. It really just did the trick and moisturized my skin, but I stopped buying that obviously when I went cruelty free. And now delving into the ingredients more, I'm realizing, I think it was called Total Effects 7 because it was supposed to contain 7 anti-aging ingredients, but looking into it, all it really has in there is, I think there's niacinamide. I think it was the 3rd ingredient, which niacinamide is a brightener, but besides that, it was just a good moisturizer. But I have since found the First Aid Beauty. This is so good. This is their Ultra Repair Cream. They did send this out to me. This is in their limited edition packaging. This is for their 10-year anniversary. But before this, I repurchased this probably at least twice. My husband actually, I purchased it for the first time for my husband because he has eczema prone skin, and I knew that First Aid Beauty was known for their non-irritating, more sensitive skin driven skincare. So I initially purchased it for him, and then I stole it because I think I had a sunburn on my chest and I was trying to relieve that, and then I just started putting this all over my body. I'm just obsessed with this. But this has a ton of great things in here. It's fragrance free. There's ceramides in here. There's sodium hyaluronate. What else is in here? There's licorice root, which is also known for brightening. So some really good things. It's a basic moisturizer, but just some good targeted anti-aging ingredients, which I really appreciate. I love that it's like heavy, but also doesn't feel like it's pore clogging at the same time. I never get breakouts from this. It's just a great moisturizer. You get a ton of product in here. It's 6 ounces, so I just love that it comes in this tub form, so you can just slather it all over your face and chest and know that you're getting all the good things from this moisturizer. So I just love this. I will not go back to the Total Effects 7, I think is what it was called. All right, so that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. This was really fun. I love dupe videos. I know this wasn't a true dupe video. I didn't really give necessarily cheaper options, but I wanted to give just a variety of cruelty-free options. I just want to open everybody's eyes to the fact that there are so many cruelty-free brands. It's crazy, and I really don't miss any of these old products. There's just way too many options. Let me know your favorite cruelty-free brand. Also let me know some indie brands. I feel like, I don't know, there's a lot of other indie brands I haven't yet explored, like Juvia's Place, but let me know your favorites. You guys always have the best recommendations. And again, thank you to Kelly for collaborating with me on this video. Be sure to check out her video as well. I'm sure you guys are all subscribed to her. I probably don't even have to say that, but yeah, thanks again to her and to you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.